of the podcast, I Feel Tired, Des Andrew, and life coach Stacy Andon. Hit it, Big Infinite.
Make your day richer than it was before. Got some good times knocking upon your front door. It's the Richard Wilmore Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Richard Wilmore.
And now, here's Richard.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Doing great. I'm great to be on your show today. I'm excited.
Well, thank you very much for coming on the show. I see a guitar, super random, but I see a guitar back there. Do you know how to play the guitar?
Learning.
Yes, really? Is this a pandemic, COVID, I'm stuck in my house, I need something to do sort of thing, or is this completely separate?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of both. Like my brother, he had it, and we decided we're going to learn how to play. So,
How long have you been at it?
Just recently, just a few
really?
weeks, not that long. So
Are you
I'm
having fun with it?
Yeah, just it's my suck.
Yeah.
But
But as long as you're having fun learning, that's all that matters.
right. That's the big thing. It's no pressure.
No pressure. You're here from an organization called What's in the Mirror that I'm so excited that you were able to come on. Tell everybody what What's in the Mirror is and for.
Yes, well, thanks again for having me. I am the community outreach director of What's in the Mirror. What's in the Mirror is a 501c3 nonprofit organization. We are based out in Austin, Texas, and we are a social suicide prevention and mental health awareness through art and advocacy through people of color in low social economic communities. We focus on marginalized communities, including women, LGBTQIA plus, and youth. So we do, right now we are having a thing going on where we're paying actually for getting people connected to care. We're having them take action, and we have a connected care. We're paying for up to three sessions to get them kind of started with their healing process. That's either if you want to go to yoga, if you want to do sound therapy, art therapy. We have a wide range. We have therapists that we have in our database, but if you come with your own therapist, that's fine as well. We won't turn you down. We're another exciting thing that we're doing that I want to mention, since this is Mental Health Awareness Month, that we're partnering with MTV for May 20th. It's called Take Action Day. And so we're encouraging people to do something towards their mental health, either it's writing in a journal, going a long walk, things of that nature, things that you can do to take action towards your mental health. And so, yeah, we have a lot of...
is one of them.
Right. Anything through the arts, because, arts is definitely a healing space where you can release and be free. So I'm pretty excited. We also have the Trans Connect. I don't want to forget to mention that. That's
go for it. I'll sit. You talk. I'll hang out here. Tell all the things you need to tell.
Yeah, the Trans Connect is kind of like the Connect to Care. similar, but it's for people in the trans community. And so it's provide the same up to three free sessions that we provide for free.
Wow.
And so, yeah, we're
What
trying
a great
to.
resource.
Thank you. Thank you.
How can people, kind of a two-part question. How can people contact you at What's in the Mirror? The website is right underneath over here. But
Yes.
also, so how can they connect with you? And then also, how can they help or volunteer or anything like that?
Yeah, guys can go to the website that's down here, but you also can go email at info@whatsinthemirror.org. That's info@whatsinthemirror.org. You can send in any requests for volunteers, any videos that you want to upload that we can put out for the Take Action Day, or any day that you want to be involved, be a partner. If you want to do tabling, go to info@whatsinthemirror.org. All of our social media, we are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all of that at whatsinthemirror.org for every one of those. But also for the Connect to Care, you have to go to the website to log on and for donations. But we also have a PayPal and Cash App with
Perfect.
What's in the Mirror.
And that's all on whatsinthemirror.com or .org. Sorry.
Yes.
What is the story behind the name?
So we decided to call it What's in the Mirror because, like, what do you see when you look in the mirror? Because it's your self identity, your self-worth. We started this back in 2016. I'm actually a survivor, suicide attempt survivor, and from multiple times that I tried. So one of my biggest struggles was, identity, self-worth. And so I wanted to spread love and have people have that question on their mind. What we wanted to do, that have that question on our mind. What do you see? And if you're not comfortable within, what are the steps that you want to take to your wellness, for your wellness? So, and we know that a lot of services are not offered, they're not easily accessible in lower socioeconomic communities. So we want to be kind of like an informational resource hub. We're not clinicians, therapists, but we will connect you to the right clinicians and therapists. We do vetting process. So
She's frozen.
We will
on my
interview
end.
the. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now.
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, we don't want to re-traumatize our community members. So with the therapists that we recommend, they have been through a vetting process where we ask several different questions. We see, do they align with our mission? And because we are, and are they, can they operate with the community? Do they know the community that they are working with? So we are trying to make sure everyone is not re-traumatizing, that can get the help that they need at an affordable cost, giving them the care.
It's super important work that you're doing, and I'm so happy that you're here and proud that you're here, and thank you very much for jumping on this morning.
Thank you for spreading the word and getting the word out there. I appreciate you and the work that you guys do with the arts. That is all connected.
Yes.
Yeah,
I was going to talk about that after you and I were done here, but I work for an arts and health nonprofit called Hearts Need Art, and I'm hoping that we can kind of combine forces maybe and do a little something together.
Most definitely. We are down for that.
We will be chatting after the show.
Okay. Definitely.
All right. Whatsinthemirror.org. Make sure you check them out and support them. Thank you very much.
You have a great one.
See ya. That was fun. I love her. So Yes, what I was saying was, or what I was going to say was that I do work for an arts and health nonprofit, and we work with adults, adults, their caregivers, their family members, and we do creative arts with them. And if you don't know, I also host a podcast for them, and it's called Arts for the Health of It. And we are talking to patients and medical staff and researchers from all over the world, excuse me, on this podcast that launched on April 15th, which was World Art Day. And I just wanted to give a little shout out to the podcast and introduce you to that. So take a look at this video, and we will be right back with Des Andrew after this. Listen up, y'all. We here at Hearts Need Art have started a podcast. It is called Arts for the Health of It. I will be your host. My name is Richard Wilmore.
I'm your co-host, Constanza Rader. Have you ever wondered why you feel so good after listening to music? Or ever wondered about the role that the arts play in cultures throughout history? Why do we have art? Well, if you've ever asked these questions, you're going to really enjoy our podcast. We're going to be talking to different guests, sharing creative ways that you can use the arts to improve your health and well-being, and why and how the arts improve our health and well-being. And we've had a lot of fun doing it.
We've had a blast. We've been recording and filming episodes so you can subscribe wherever you listen or watch podcasts. We have laughed.
The energy you're putting out is what makes you feel like you don't belong. I said, when people stare, it doesn't mean you don't belong. It means you're fabulous.
I'm writing that down. I'm stealing that. Yeah.
So I instilled that in them. So one of the parents reached out to me and she said, I don't know what you've taught my daughter, but she doesn't want McDonald's anymore. She's like, ooh, take me to Hannah's or take me to Leah's. Like Miss Rose said that I deserve to eat here.
That's what she learned.
Yeah. I say, you better tell them, girl. And,
we have cried.
I am very passionate about dying with dignity, because I've seen it done well. I mean, again, I'm probably going to get teary-eyed, but I am proud that I gave my sister a really good death. You know, she died at home in her bed, surrounded by people who loved her. But I had to fight to make that happen. I had to go against doctor's orders.
Good for you.
Yeah, thank you.
We have learned.
Often patients feel like they are a disease and not a person. And in hospitals, they're often referred to as the cancer room 302. And so all of a sudden you come in and you have time and you get them engaged and ask them, give them choice, and you give them dignity, as well as you take them on this journey. And that's profoundly important. That has to do with giving somebody dignity and seeing them as a person and not as a disease. And that's powerful just in that.
There have been shenanigans and cats.
This to get the sunshine and the breeze to it. So
Winnie has other ideas for you, Richard. The cat is going to be involved in the haymaking.
It's like a parrot on my shoulder.
if I came right up here, I might be able to see it.
There's a
But
wagging tail there.
is there a wagging tail? Oh yes, I can just see the tail.
Don't know what's happening.
there.
She has hijacked the whole thing. And
Never perform with animals or children.
this is my life. I don't know why I'm single. It's a podcast and an organization that I'm super proud to be a part of, and I hope you check out Arts for the Health of It. It's, of course, available on all podcast streaming places and YouTube and all of the things. We're going to take a break, and we'll be right back with Des Andrew after this. Foosballs. Funny name, serious plant power, healthy whole food goodness in one single bite. Wineria SA. Let's enjoy some great vino together. Let's do a virtual wine tasting, enjoy exclusive artisan wines, and join the club. Neon Castaway. Handmade accessories for a colorful life. Teenus. Handcrafted, farm to cup, organic, quality. The Classic Theater, creating excellent theater in San Antonio, Texas that is relevant, diverse, entertaining, and transformative. All right. I wish you could see what happens here during all of these videos. There's a reason why I put up all of these videos, and it's chaos back here. All right. My first guest is the host of the podcast, I Feel Tried, which when I first found it, I thought it said "I feel tired," and I related to it so much that I was like, I need to talk to another tired person. So please welcome Des Andrew. Good morning.
Everybody. Good morning. Thank you for
How are
having
you?
me. I'm
Of
so happy
course.
to be here. It's
Thanks
so
for coming
exciting.
on.
And by the way, your opening credits is the cutest, most fun little thing, and I love. Oh my god, it's so awesome.
It's I love that. I love the opening.
Yes.
If I can talk about how great it is, yes, I love it. It makes me very happy.
Absolutely.
It only took 2 days to make, for 1 minute and 9 seconds. Yes,
Worth it.
Tell everybody about your podcast.
Yes. So my podcast is called I Feel Tried. Lots of people think it's tired. People will say it with confidence to me, I was listening to I Feel Tired earlier. And I'm like, that's awesome. As long as you're listening now.
As long as you got there, who cares how you got there, right?
Exactly. But no, it is not like a hypnotherapy style podcast. It was just really created to be silly, kind of just to be like a room for me and my friends to like make fun of each other, really. That's where the whole I Feel Tried comes from. And I'm a huge pop culture enthusiast, self-proclaimed. I went to school for entertainment, public relations, and journalism. And I was always the only person in my classes that was interested in the entertainment part of PR, where everybody else was there for like the hard-hitting news, and for sports news. That's the only person I could really relate to. But really, it's supposed to be a fun, lighthearted space for pop culture, for celebrity news, we throw some world news in there too, because I mean, there's some things that just need to be highlighted that, it would be a little irresponsible to not talk about.
Mm-hmm. When did you start it? When did it start?
I started it, let's see, it's been, I think, 1.5 years officially. It was November of 2019. That was when we had our first episode.
You were like, I need a podcast. I want to kind of talk to you about the process of starting a podcast for other people who are watching or listening. And there's so many podcasts out there. And I think it's such a great way to express yourself and to have a show, and to get out your thoughts and all of that. And a lot of people I talk to are like, well, there's so many, but if you have something to talk about, someone else probably wants to listen. And even if it's 3 people, who cares? But what was that like? Were you like, what did you learn, and kind of how did you do it?
So I'd say what motivated me to even start a podcast, well, I'll take you back. So a couple years ago, I decided to go through a lifestyle change. I was partying like every single day. I was going out every single night, spending lots of money. And it just became destructive. I really wanted to tap into potential that I knew I had. And I mean, I hope this doesn't sound the wrong way, but I mean, I know that I'm still like young enough to like still do things, and I didn't want to just like be stuck in that party lifestyle. So then I stopped going out, I stopped partying. And with that, I stopped seeing other people. I stopped seeing friends, and started getting a little lonely. So when I'd go to the gym, or when I would commute to work, I was doing like a 30-mile commute there, 30 miles back. So like 60 miles a day.
Wow.
That's a lot for me. I don't know. And I was like, okay, well, this would be a good opportunity to like talk to people. So I started listening to RuPaul's podcast called What's the Tea? And I just would love how much they would laugh together on that show. They would say something, and honestly, sometimes they would laugh for like a minute straight, and it makes me laugh. Like hearing other people laugh makes me laugh. Yeah. So after listening to that, I started listening to, I'm a huge WWE, like professional wrestling fan. So I started listening to the Bella Twins podcast. And from there, I just kept going and listening to more and more. And I was just inspired to create a space that makes it feel like you're hanging out with friends. You get to laugh with your friends, and you get to just be silly, which is what I was looking for a few months before I started it. So I really studied what I like from each different show. And I kind of emulate a different shade from each particular show that I like. So that's
super smart. I want to talk about WWE for a minute. Were you like as a kid a wrestling fan? Like I don't know how old you are, but I went to a ton of them when I was younger. Jake the Snake, like
live?
Hulk Hogan. Yeah.
Lucky.
Jealous,
Oh my
right?
God.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
went
yeah.
to one and we were in the nosebleeds, but I was still so happy, you know?
Oh yes, I didn't have good seats, but I was there. Like it was a whole
Yeah.
family thing. My brothers, my dad would take us, my cousin. Is that when your obsession started? Was when you
Oh
were a
yeah. I
kid?
think I was 8 or 9. I was over at my grandma's house on my dad's side, and my cousins were all watching WrestleMania. If anybody listening knows about WrestleMania, this was WrestleMania 17. I think they just had WrestleMania 36 or 37 this year. So, yeah, I was 8 or 9. I'm 28 now, so about 20 years now. Holy shit, I've never actually done that. Math out loud. Wait, can I cuss, by the way? Sorry if
I mean, I think so, but like, just don't get us kicked off anymore.
Try not to. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was my
I don't
one.
have a beep button on this thing.
Okay. So yeah, I started watching WrestleMania 17, the Hardy Boys. It was a ladder match, and there was this woman who came out in the middle of a men's match. They were climbing ladders and like using weapons on each other. And this woman named Lita came out, and she just looked like, you know, a bad chick, like a badass, you know? And from there on, I was watching the men a little bit more as a kid because my brothers and my cousins were watching the men. But now I only watch the women because to me, there's nothing more exciting and empowering than like a badass woman who can like kick butt, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's what I watch now.
That's so funny.
Literally, yeah, today's Monday, so Monday Night Raw is on later tonight.
Did you go when it was, I don't know how long you've been in Texas. You grew up in California. When I first moved here in 2017, I haven't watched wrestling in probably 28 years, but they had a Monday Night Raw here in San Antonio, and I got tickets and went and saw a bunch of people I didn't know, but then there were still some familiar faces from back when I watched it as a kid. It was so strange to watch.
Yeah, there's a few legends that are still around, some that have come back. And sadly, I have not been to any live shows since the one that my dad took me to. I mean, I don't even know how many years ago, maybe like 18 years ago.
Yeah.
But yeah, I that was something that I took note of when I moved here to San Antonio in February. So I've only been here about 3.5 months. And I was like, okay, well, the AT&T Center is not too far from me. And I know that they do a lot of visits here with the WWE. So I'm like, okay, let me just, you know, be on standby once they start doing the live events again.
When it comes back here, let's go together.
Oh my God, if you're down, yes.
Yes,
then
of course.
I wouldn't have to go by myself. Yes.
Exactly. No, and then I won't either. It'll be fun. We'll do that.
Yes.
So you've been in San Antonio for 3 months.
Yeah.
How are you liking it?
Oh, I love it. I grew up visiting here. My godfather, my mom's only brother, lived here for his whole adult life. So I grew up visiting. I feel like it was once a year for many years. Then it kind of grew fewer in between, maybe every 2 or 3 years. So I knew I loved it. I knew I loved the food, that's for sure. And it's just having my independence. You know, I was fortunate enough to have the option to live with family back home. My hometown's Camarillo. Shout out, love it.
I have ex-relatives in Camarillo.
Shut up! No way. No one knows Camarillo. Are you kidding me? The outlets. That's it.
Have spent yes, I've been there many times.
That's so awesome. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Right on. So yeah, shout out Camarillo. And I was, you know, fortunate. I don't want to sound like an ungrateful brat, but like I was living with my family. Again, super grateful. They didn't charge me rent, like nothing. You know, I was able to save. And I just really wanted to be proud of what I spend my money on, instead of just kind of completely living. I'm thinking of some sort of a phrase that I can't actually speak out loud. I'm not sure what I'm trying to say here, but basically, like, I don't want to exhaust my funds and not be proud of what I come home to every day. Yeah. So the affordability here in Texas compared to my area is just so much more realistic. And I'm really happy when I take a look around, and me and my puppy, that's who I live with, my little daughter, I call her Sasha, who's named after Sasha Banks, the professional wrestler.
Of course.
Yes. And I love it here. You know, I really do. Of course, I came a week and a half or something like that before that huge snowstorm.
Of course.
That was my welcome to Texas.
They did that to me too when I moved in 2017. And I'm from Wisconsin, and I was like, great, I'll never see snow again. This is going to be amazing. And then 2 months later, we had a huge snowstorm. It was awful.
Wait, in 2017? Everyone kept saying it's been like 30 years since there was a snowstorm.
No,
They
when
lied.
that's what they said when it happened in 2017 too. This hasn't happened in a decade. I'm like, well, it needs to stop. It wasn't as bad as what happened this last time, but it wasn't fun either. Are you having fun with the podcast? I know you've been able to talk to some people that you've admired for a really long time. Because I was watching some clips and listening to some of them, and I want to kind of talk about that, about being able to talk to some of your heroes, kind of.
Yeah. So again, pop culture centric. That's always kind of going to be the focus. So we've had some really cool, interesting, like reality people. I'm a huge reality fan. I don't know if I ever already kind of mentioned that, but like anything on Bravo, basically. So we've had like one of the Real Housewives, from Vanderpump Rules. I love MTV The Challenge because I'm so competitive, like super competitive, like in fun, I'm not going to like get my feelings hurt if I don't win, but in my mind, I know that I can win. Growing up with brothers who were so competitive too. So I just feel like if I lose, I want it to be because I didn't earn it, And if I win, then I know that I earned it. So that's why I love watching shows like MTV's The Challenge, Big Brother. One of my favorite guests, it was a sentimental option for me, or booking or whatever, opportunity really, was this book series I remember reading in like 5th grade as a child. It was called The Skin I'm In, and the author's name is Sharon G. Flake. And I reached out to her, and she was totally open to doing the podcast. And it was just such a, I guess, full circle moment, just because I still think of that story to this day, The Skin I'm In, which deals with issues of race. But I think that people who maybe don't have the same exact issues as the character in the story, whether it be LGBTQ identity, race identity, literally you name it. Maybe you have a bunch of tattoos and piercings and no one else in your family does. You can find something in that character that you can relate to. And so when she said yes to being on the podcast, it was just such an amazing moment, getting to talk to her, getting to attempt to bring her stories to life with talking about if her stories were turned into a series or a movie, which she said is in the works. So I'm like, wow, I predicted it. Hey, it was fun to just imagine who those characters would be after reading them, 15 years ago.
That's so fun.
Yeah, I love it.
When does the podcast come out, and where can people find it?
So I Feel Tried, the podcast, is available every Thursday. We play drinking games, and we have trivia style games every single week. You can find it on Spotify, iHeart Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, or I think anywhere you can stream your
all
podcast.
The podcast places.
Yeah,
yes.
Those are the three that I really kind of hang on to. But
the main ones. You sent over a clip. Do you want to kind of set the clip up and tell everybody who the clip is?
Sure. So this was from a couple weeks ago. I had a guest from MTV's X on the Beach. She is a transgender person in our community, so I'm always up for highlighting LGBTQIA excellence. So again, thank you for having me here. And this is La Demi from X on the Beach.
All right, take a look.
Kim Kardashian handpicked you to be cast on Glam Masters back in 2018, which was also hosted by Laverne Cox.
I think it's so surreal. And even to this day, I'm like, I owe that girl, well, that woman, so much respect for just putting me on the map and starting my career for me. Literally, I know when Lifetime called me, they're like, Kim Kardashian has handpicked you as like her top 7. So I was like in her top 7 that needed to be on the show. Yes. And I'm pretty sure they weren't supposed to tell me that, but when they told me that, I was like totally in cahoots. I was like, are you kidding me? Kim Kardashian herself has come to my Instagram and lurked.
Yes.
So I don't know. I think it's so amazing. And I think the whole experience of getting to meet Laverne Cox, I just think in the community, in the trans community, she's just someone that is so inspirational and holds it down 24/7. So I think it was just so inspiring. I feel like getting to meet her in person on the show.
Yeah.
That's so awesome. Do you have a list of top people you want on your show?
Oh, the list goes, I mean, it's honestly endless. Somebody that, I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to say. There's no rules. I mean, I am the producer as well. So I mean, I know the rules for my show. I don't know the rules for their show, but I've been trying so hard to get Tyra Banks because she's a lifetime idol of mine, like lifetime idol. And luckily I have been getting responses, and it's a long process. But right now I'm in talks of getting some people from Real Housewives of Atlanta, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and hopefully a couple queens from RuPaul's Drag Race. I've gotten some yeses, but it's just about figuring out scheduling. I know that they have such a top secret filming schedule. They can't admit if they're filming something right now. So I do have somebody that is on that show that has said yes. It's just about the timing. So for June, you know, obviously it's Pride Month, and I am going to have a lineup of LGBTQ figures that I feel excel in their industries. One professional wrestler who is openly gay. And that's something I'm interested in talking about. One, because the wrestling, but also because it's an industry that I wouldn't consider to be super proud of diversity and to be proud of LGBTQ figures. So I'm excited to get his perspective on that.
I love what you're doing over there at I Feel Tried. Like, it's such a good, like, you're having fun and you're playing games and you're doing all the stuff, but you also it's not just fluff. And I love that.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
The podcast is I Feel Tried, TRIED.
That's right.
Des is probably tired from trying to get all of his guests on there, but it's I Feel Tried. Thank you very much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me. This was so fun. I appreciate it.
Anytime, you know where to find me.
Yay.
We'll be right back with Stacey Andon after this. Lick Honest Ice Creams. Know what you're licking, y'all. Made in Austin, Texas since 2011. Unique flavors inspired by what's in season locally. Go Vegan San Antonio, a vegan comfort food truck located at The Block in San Antonio. Rebel Designs, handcrafted sterling silver jewelry designed by Shelley, inspired by nature. The Right Fit, style, makeup, and fitness, taking the stress out of getting dressed. We're back with the one and only Stacey Andon. How are you?
There is not only one of me out there on the planet, thankfully, right? Too much energy.
Listen, if I could clone you and have you live with me, I would.
I know. It has been a long time since we've seen each other in person, so I am so excited to see you for real.
Well, and now, yes, we should tell people the history behind Stacey. Stacey has been on every month in season 4. I met Stacey in 2015. 2015 right? In real life. I used to live in Maryland, and I met Stacey, and she has been a friend and a business coach and a life. I call her when I need to laugh, and I call her when I'm crying about something too. And I'm very happy that I got to celebrate you this season every month and have you on.
I love it. Thank you. It's a gift to be able to be on with such amazing guests and people and content and all the things. I love hanging out backstage and just watching life unfold with everybody, and because I think, you know, and tell me what you think about this, but if you turn on like the typical news or typical what have you, like, you just don't get the depth and nuance of what amazing things people are really doing in the world. Yeah. To me, I feel like it is a very narrow focus no matter what channel you watch. And it's talking a lot about things that are supposed to scare us. And then you watch a show like this and you're like, wow, there are so many incredible people feeling inspired, feeling passionate, like connecting with the purpose of their life, like beyond just, again, earning money. I loved your last guest who was like, okay, I was like living that party lifestyle and just wasn't doing it for me anymore. It's like, what do we all want to do here while we're on the planet? And your show to me is part of changing the world and showing and highlighting how so many people are making it an amazing place to be.
And I mean, you're probably hopefully watching this on the KP Media app TV. And I want to say, like, Stacey's probably 98% responsible for most things that I accomplish in my life. And I feel like the show should be named after you, the Stacey Andon Show featuring Richard Wilmore.
Just the next cat, maybe, because the cats all play a prominent role. So if one of the cats, like my middle, has a Winnie, Stacy, Wilmore.
I'll give a middle name. I'm not
live
getting
on.
another cat. I'm definitely not getting another cat to
No, you say
name
that
after you,
today.
but I
You say
can
that
change.
today.
That's probably
Yep. Some little
true.
sweet thing comes to your door, and all of a sudden you have another cat. So
Ugh.
life is.
Don't scare me like that. So what have you been up to?
So I have been having so much fun. I think we spoke about it the last month, but maybe just in passing. I am taking all of my intuitive knowledge and gifts and creating it into what I am equating it to help people understand if Hogwarts really existed in real life for people. Like, how do you use oracle cards? How do you connect with your intuition so it doesn't scare you? How do you do all these things, right? Where you live this life really tuned into your passion, really tuned in to your own gifts. I'm creating, I have this huge vision for like eventually a Hogwarts style university where you go and you learn all these beautiful ways to take care of your body, to be in service on the planet. And the first iteration of such started out as a group program. I started feeling a nudge. And it's so funny because I speak so honestly about this because I have to. Otherwise, I feel like I'm out of integrity. I thought it was going to be a group program. And then what ended up happening is people wanted to take this kind of program one-on-one. So there's some dream analysis in there. There's some work on your aura and energy clearing, like all the things you might be like slightly curious about, but you're a little bit like, do I want to dip my toe into this? Does it feel safe? How do I do it? So this is this program that I've been curating probably for the last couple months, and I cannot wait. It's getting unveiled in like the next couple weeks, and I just cannot wait.
Ugh.
So when do you come to my castle?
Can we film there?
Train that you won't know exactly how to get on the train to get to whatever it is, but just absolutely like taking some of that fantasy and really turning it into like magical, practical real life.
One of the words that you said when you were talking before is feeling safe, and I want to like no one makes you feel more safe than Stacy. Like I've worked with her, and I'm also friends with her, and it's hard to even like articulate how you make someone feel and the power you give someone, or that like you release in them. It's very interesting to watch you work, even on me.
Yeah. Well, you know what is an interesting thing, and I was just talking to a friend of mine about this last week, is one of my superpowers. So we all have these incredible superpowers. So we could talk about yours in a second. One of mine is being able to mirror back people, everybody that I work with. And even when I don't work with you, I can be at Starbucks. I'm not kidding you. People tell me all the things all the time. And I can see kind of beyond all the filters, right, that we've all kind of gathered in our lives, and really see to the essence of a person and mirror that back to them. So it's like my own superpower is helping you really connect to your superpowers, which, why do we care about all of this stuff? If we're really owning what we're really good at, and not trying to be good at everything, right? Not trying to be good at, hey, go do this because the world says you're going to make a lot of money, but really following what's that deeper kind of satisfaction in our heart and our knowing, whatever you want to call that. I'm telling you, that's when life like blows up in the best way. And we stop chasing and being, so consumed with trying to follow somebody else's path that isn't actually our path.
Yeah. What is one thing that...
What do you think what would be one of your superpowers? I love asking this question.
Oh,
I'm turning it around now. I'm interviewing you.
This is why I'm the host and not the guest. I'm an awful guest. There'll be a lot of what is my superpower? Is this a multiple choice question? Can I have options?
Just one thing. You have multiple. You definitely have multiple powers. What do you think? What is one thing that comes one of the ways to kind of start to think about is what comes easy to me when people go, oh my gosh, that seems so complicated, or how did you do that? And immediately your response is, oh, I just do that. That's an easy thing. That is hint number one. You're onto your superpower.
I think
natural.
Probably like what Des said when he was like, oh my gosh, your intro. And I think my weird, creative, odd little mind can come up with some fun things. I love being creative.
I think that it just oozes out of you this, again, this comfort, this fun, this playfulness. People feel comfortable showing up. All sorts of different people want to be connected and to talk and to open up and share. And I think, again, not everybody, speaking of feeling safe, not everybody always feels as comfortable, right, in other people's presence, but you immediately put everybody at ease and bring a smile out. I have never seen a guest ever on your show that isn't laughing and smiling and talking about their passion.
And that's, I mean, I'm glad that it comes through because that's exactly what the show is. So
I love it.
It's working after 4 seasons. Yes. What are you up to this summer?
So I feel this wanderlust, right? That's kind of part of my soul, is I want to be on adventures, and I haven't been on many, as probably most people have, but I have nothing planned yet. So I don't know. Do you have any ideas for me? What would you suggest?
I would suggest a trip to San Antonio, Texas.
We did talk about meeting in Austin, and I'm still game. I have a friend of mine who I'd love to meet in person. Like, I can have all the people that I just love congregate in Austin together.
I'm 100% on board with that. You tell me when and where. Yes.
All right, I will start the planning of that. I need to go out. A friend of mine was telling me she was on a waterfall. She went like driving around in Maryland and Pennsylvania, kind of the area around here, and just did her own like waterfall, like I don't know what you want to call it. And she just kept looking for waterfalls, and that just sounds like something up my alley to do this summer, as long as it's not too hot.
That sounds beautiful.
Yeah, just go check out amazing Mother Nature and just sit there in awe and just meditate and just like forget, like all of the technology, all the things that just kind of keep us busy, but I don't feel energized by them. Like, I just want to go sit and be with the trees, be with the beauty, be with Mother Nature, and get refreshed that way.
Ugh. Yeah. That sounds like the answer to my question, but what is one thing that someone can start doing today to better their lives? And that, to me, would be my answer, is go outside.
Go outside. And I know people, right? Everybody, I think COVID has helped. People have the ability more with flexibility. Like, I can go outside at lunch and sit on my back porch or patio, or I can take a walk. The dogs are all tired of all the walking. However, I think we've given ourselves more permission to do that, which I think is a great new thing we've developed, that we shouldn't try to go back and say, oh, now that things are opening up, now I need to go back into that hurried hustle lifestyle. Go outside, touch a tree, listen to the birds sing, go down to your local farmer's market if you have one. Just connect with all the people that are growing things and doing things. I just think there's so much right outside that's not too far complicated. We just have to make the first tiny step to do it. And that's kind of like my secret life tip for all things. Just think about the next little tiny step today. Don't worry about the bigger plan in 10 days from now, 10 years from now. What is it that your heart wants to do today?
My time, just right now, today.
Right now, exactly.
Let's do it. My little moment sometimes is going out, but without shoes on and standing in the grass on bare feet. Is like, it's like childhood. It's grounding. I love being outside without shoes, and people think it's gross, but I'm not like walking into dumpsters and bathrooms. I'm just outside on the lawn in grass, and it's like my favorite thing in the world.
And I'm going to go out on the woo-woo ledge for a second and say that we need more grounding in our lives, like more and more and more as the world continues kind of wherever we're headed. This is going to be a huge practice. So out without the shoes is perfect. Feeling your feet on the ground is always the best way to get grounded. If you do that at least once a day, I think that that's a great practice.
It's so, I love it. You don't have to do it long. It doesn't have to be an hour long of your life. It's like quick.
A minute, 3 minutes, 5 minutes. I think that's what stops people. And I don't know if that's what stopped you. I know for me, when I first started meditating years ago, I was like, oh, I can't sit for an hour. And I don't know all the fancy ways to do it. And my mind won't stop. Most people, everybody says, my mind won't stop. But the idea is start where you are. So if 30 minutes feels like too long, start with 3 minutes. Or even if 3 minutes feels excruciating, back it down to a minute and a half. Meet yourself where you are. And it's not about having to like have your mind be empty. You're just checking in with your entire body. We disconnect from our physical body so often because we're in our head, we're thinking, we're doing, and this just keeps that connection open, which ties to all our intuitive gifts. Those nudges, like you get a sense of, oh, I'm going to look at this apartment, even though I wasn't thinking about being in this particular part of San Antonio, or I'm going to call this friend. Your life starts to unfold in these beautiful ways when you further that connection. So I feel like I should go on some kind of RV road trip. Just spread love across the country.
Why not?
Right? Drive around, go wherever, as long as Dr. P, which is my mini schnauzer, gets to come with me. I could totally see. I'm not a huge camping person. I'm more of a glamping kind of style kind of person. But I like the idea of just going and not knowing. And that is, if you asked me 10 years ago, that would have freaked me out. But now it's like that idea of just without the plan and just letting life unfold is like, again, great for an adventure, great for today, all the things.
I think we should start booking that because that would be fun. You don't, and then I think we'll work on that for the summer, and then in the fall you can go on, and then you can like work your way. So like as the weather's getting bad in Maryland, you'll be on the West Coast, and then you can figure it all out. It'll be fun.
Totally.
I have a question. Yes. What do you do when you're stuck?
So usually I flail around a little bit, right? I get upset that I can't figure it out. The immediate response for me, my brain wants to solve. And when I'm stuck, it's like, so it wants a problem to fix. So whatever it thinks is the reason or the root of the stuckness, it's like, oh, let me do something more. That's my immediate go-to anytime I'm in stuckness. Now that does not work. But that's my human brain that wants to do that. And what I have found is the art and experience of surrender. Like, I am stuck right now. I do not know what to do next. I don't know how to fix this. Part of me is dying to fix this. And I just don't know what I don't know yet. And like, maybe just admitting that out loud to myself, like I feel stuck, because generally speaking, we're not actually stuck. It's just this feeling or this, like, what is that actually, if you broke it down without the words? Is it like a heaviness in your chest? Is it just a lack of like desire to do something? Because I think a lot of times we are so caught up again in action, when we start to balance our lives out a little bit more and we start to kind of balance the energies, there's times and spaces in our life where we're kind of like what I call kind of in an incubative space, right? Nothing is quite kind of taking shape yet. It feels ragingly uncomfortable because it's like, what should I be doing? And it's not like we're actually stuck. We're just resisting, just kind of being way more in this kind of lull. And if nothing actually is wrong, which is what I tell myself, right? This is not a problem unless you want to make it a problem. That can shift me. It's like, okay, so I can just be in this. I can surrender. I don't have to like it. Like, this is not like fall in love with the worst parts of when you feel. No, you can just say, I don't generally like this. However, I can be in it and be okay. And I don't have to rush or figure out the solution. Anytime that rush comes in, I usually spend more time in the feeling of stuckness.
Interesting. That's every time I talk to Stacey, there's always goosebumps and usually tears. And like, I love that this is only a problem if I make it a problem.
Yeah, that will change your life.
Yes.
Everybody watching, I swear, if for everything, right? You get in a fight over the weekend with your loved one, and you're like, again, it's like, okay, why is this a problem? I'm like, oh, this is actually a problem. But that's what the mind likes to do: create a problem, solve a problem, create a problem, solve a problem. And that a lot of times we can get so caught up in that we don't even realize, like, is this actually? No, I can be in this weird space and it's okay.
Ugh.
Yeah.
I could talk to you all day.
I could.
But now that I'm on television, Stacey Andon, I have a time limit.
I can't wait to be when you're like in California filming or wherever you find yourself when you're on an international syndicate. I cannot wait to be in like your official green room. I'm gonna have lots of demand.
Real in person. We're moving into a studio in June to start filming for season 5. So we're going to start doing live interviews and audience members. And the reason I took the studio is right outside the door is a coffee machine. So it's waiting for you.
Exactly.
And you're invited.
Exactly.
Anytime.
I think that next year, season 5, that we should just put out that big vision that you and I are in person for an episode.
Done.
There you go. And so it shall be.
I'll have it ready for you as soon as you walk in the door. StaceyAndon.com is the website and how to connect with her. She's an amazing human being, and you should definitely fall in love with her like I have. Stacey, thank you. I love you. We will be right back after this. All right, we're back already. And it was my niece's birthday yesterday. So I want to say happy birthday, Nyla. I texted her because every 8-year-old has a cell phone apparently now. But she did not respond to me. And so happy birthday, my dear. Let's see, what do we have to talk about? The only other thing I have to say before we go today is that I spend a lot of my free time YouTubing videos of the old Rosie O'Donnell show, which is, as you may or may not know, the reason why I have a show is because of her. And she used to have, when her show began, suck up days. So she would suck up to Elton John for him to come on the show. And she would suck up to Tom Cruise and Barbara Streisand. And she would like throw a huge thing. So, every week is going to be Rosie O'Donnell suck up day. And probably next week we'll have a graphic and it'll be a whole thing. But every week I'm going to show you part of my collection. And one day this will get to her. And maybe in season 5, she'll be here. So I love mugs. I love coffee mugs. When people travel or I travel, I have them buy a coffee mug in whatever city I'm in. But this is my collection of Rosie O'Donnell mugs. This is a mug that she used to sell on her website. That's it. This is this is her newest one. It's Rosie freaking O'Donnell and all the money from this goes to charity that when she sells that. Old Rosie O'Donnell show mug. Old Rosie show mug from when she did her show on OWN. I also went to see that a couple times, but she didn't want to talk to me then, but she will. We'll get there. We will get there. Hey, we're here on the KP Media TV app, so you can watch us on all of the amazing things like Roku, like Amazon Prime, or Amazon Fire, and Apple TV. And you're thinking, wow, I want a commercial like I saw on Richard's show today. Well, you can. And we have sponsorships available at richardwilmore.com. And you can also become a coffee sponsor. I love coffee. So you can go to buymeacoffee.com/Rich Wilmore Show. Buy me a coffee. I just sent out, I should have put it up here. I just sent out a mug that someone ordered. And because of coffee sponsors, that's who paid for the shipping. So it's all super helpful. The show is done completely by me. And so it's very helpful. Buymeacoffee.com/Rich Wilmore Show. All right. I want to thank my guests today. I want to thank you for watching. I want to thank KP Media TV. Make sure you download the KP Media TV app and watch us on television. All right, everyone. Have a great week. I love you. We will see you next week.
It's the Richard Wilmore Show.